call this meeting to order. The time is 12:08. And let's go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's go ahead and have the roll call, please.
Adrian G. Trevino. George Narvaez.
Present.
Omar Gonzalez Longoria.
Here.
Jose Angel Lopez.
Present.
Rodolfo Rodriguez. Elizabeth Alonso Villarreal. Present. Robert Jude Gilpin.
Present.
Jose D. Gonzalez.
Present.
Hector Cortez.
Present.
Alright, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Would be in order to get a motion on the table to excuse the members that are not present.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Cortez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And let's go ahead and do the minutes. We shouldn't take too long. The minutes were provided by staff. It's attached to your agenda. And if you want to take a quick minute to look at it. We just had that one resolution last time. Hmm?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Villarreal, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Minutes were approved. Okay, under staff report, I guess first of all, let's go ahead and recognize the new members to the board. Mr. Omar Gonzalez from District Two, and Mr. Judge Gilpin from Councilman District 6. And welcome to the board, and we look forward to working with y'all and getting your input and your areas of expertise, and we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Omar has been here before, just.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
He was saying that, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember the.
He was here for a short time frame whenever we had a previous councilman, but he was here for a short
Okay.
time before, so.
Maybe that's where I've seen you before.
You
I
were here.
was like, I said, I've not seen you before. I apologize, my memory's not what it used to be. Well, welcome back then.
Thank you very much, thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and move to the next staff report, which is a recognition of Mr. Ed Bueno for his years of service and contributions as an Airport Advisory Board member and finishing off as the vice chair of this committee. Mr. Bueno, thank you for all your years of service and your input. It's been a pleasure serving on this board with you, sir. And I'm sure that the rest of the committee feels the same way. I don't know if there's any other comments by the committee, staff?
Well, we just would like to reiterate that thank you for all the years, short years or long years?
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years. For his service and dedication to the Airport Advisory Board, we thank you. And we wish you the best, and you know that you're welcome anytime. This is a public meeting. You're welcome anytime.
I know Elsie, who, it's my understanding,
We, Mr. Chairman, I would like to inform that, the new acting, airport director, she has been, Elsie Borster was, appointed, the new airport, director, acting airport director, last Wednesday. Now, Mr. Mario Maldonado, who was the airport transportation director, and also the acting airport, director, retired on January the
so
31st.
she's the interim for now.
Yes, Elsie right now, on Wednesday, she was appointed by city management, the co-city managers, now that we have to, I'm getting used to the co-city.
Yeah.
And, so they appointed Elsie as the acting, airport director. I'm still on my function of the assistant airport director. But she couldn't be here because she is in a conference in Quebec, Canada, with our consultant, working on getting an airline, the flight to Mexico City or any other flight from different parts. There's a conference in Quebec, Canada about an airline. So she's coming back tomorrow, hopefully, with weather permitting.
The weather, yes.
Because it's, the mayor was supposed to also attend the meeting, but yesterday, he was told in San Antonio that because he was flying from San Antonio to New York, Quebec, that they couldn't, American Airlines said we couldn't guarantee that you're gonna get in Quebec on today because of the weather. So the mayor canceled the plans, the mayor didn't attend, and we posted this over there. But she will be back hopefully tomorrow.
I spoke to her, she wanted to extend her gratitude for her contribution to the board. She wished she could be here, but obviously she had some business to attend to in Canada,
Right.
lucky
Yeah.
her. And to do some sightseeing also. But, yeah, thank you for all you've done to this board, and, we've got a nice little
And
plaque
now
for you.
We need to gather for a picture.
Let's go ahead and read this, and then we can
Read
take some
the
pictures.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I feel like a mentor, man, so it's a pleasure working with you, so I really enjoyed it.
Thank you
Not
very
pleasure.
much, sir. Good.
If y'all wanna come around
Oh.
and read this, and then we'll take a picture.
Thank you for court hearing many times.
So you're gonna look through there and press this.
I did.
So, before we take that picture, let me just read this. This is presented to Mr. Ed Bueno, the Vice Chairman of the Board, in recognition of 8 years of outstanding dedication and service to this Airport Advisory Board from 2011 to 2019, from the Laredo International Airport, from the staff and all the members here on the board. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Nice and tight.
You-
We can have a nice and tight.
And you limited, God.
Yeah. Ed one.
Thank you. Oh.
And the
Thank you.
photoshopping, made us look
Yeah.
Name was Ricardo, or you?
We'll send you the picture, Mr. Wyndham. Thank you for all your years.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Thank you again,
And this
sir.
is your home anytime you would like.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Thank you very much. All horses won't be able to.
We'll see you around town anyway.
Yep.
God bless you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
I'd just like to thank the airport staff for all the information that you provided to the advisory board, you know, in trying to, in going forth with the continued success of this facility. And I'd like to thank the members of the airport advisory board for allowing me to share in this beautiful experience. I think that in working hand in hand, the airport staff, the airport advisory board, it will continue to make this facility actually one of the very best in the state of Texas, definitely in the southern region of the United States. So we thank you for that. I'd like to thank Mr. Flores, who was here at that time
Right.
when I came in, and then Mario that followed
Right.
on that, and of course all the airport staff. Once again, may I say that I always, in being involved actually with service to the community, I'll use one of the tenants we used to have, well, we still have, I guess, were the JCs here in Laredo back in 1970, 71 and all that, you know, 50 years ago more or less. And that is service to our community is the best work of life. You know, and we put that into practice all these years, so, once again, without, you know, anything else to add, actually, I'd just like to say, con todo el corazón, de todo respeto, que Dios los bendiga, que tengan mucho éxito. Con permiso. Thank you very much.
Gracias, que Dios lo bendiga.
Take care, we'll see you around town.
Bueno, God bless.
Okay, Alejandro, you want to proceed with the additional staff reports?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the next item, request by the Laredo Economic Development Corporation for appointment of the Airport Advisory Board Chairman.
What is-
We
can
were
you,
informed.
Elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, we were informed that the Laredo Economic Development Corporation has it has one voting member from the airport.
Okay.
And according to the rules, usually they're recommending the airport director or the president of the board. In this case, we're recommending you, Mr. Chairman, to be appointed to the Laredo Economic Development Corporation as a representative of the airport.
Do the rules allow for another board member to also be appointed or assigned to this?
My understanding is airport director or president of the board.
Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to extend it, you know, to a board member.
Okay.
Since I was
We
serving
can-
as a
we
chairman
can-
here,
We
but
can check into that if you like.
unless the rules prohibit that from being done?
don't know, we can call back the Laredo Economic Development Corporation and inform you.
Okay.
If that's the case, who would you like to appoint them, or?
Well, I guess we need to first find out if it
Okay.
can be done.
Okay.
How urgent is this? By when do they need to know? Or do they meet?
2019.
When is their next meeting?
Next meeting is, doesn't
It's
say.
every
Meeting once a month on Wednesdays,
Every
or
month.
lunch meeting, it's around the same time frame, so.
Fourth
Okay.
Tuesday for now.
Tuesday or Tuesday, yeah.
I'll be happy to represent the board at the next meeting, but I'd like to, if, in the interim, if I could ask staff to look into those rules.
Okay.
And if that's the case, I'd like to bring it back at the next agenda and give an opportunity to one of the board members.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, sure.
We could do that, but I'll go ahead and attend the first meeting.
The first meeting is
If
gonna be
that's
this,
okay with the rest of the committee.
the fourth Tuesday of every month, okay, so you will attend the first meeting,
I'll
and
attend
we'll
the first
research what you asked us, and we'll let you know.
Place it back on the
Do we
agenda.
vote on this to agree this, or just?
Well, it's
If they-
not-
It's a staff
if they-
reports.
It's not
It's a
published
staff.
as an action item, so, and that's another thing too, does it need to be by majority vote? Or it's just, a formality where we just need to inform the board that I'll be on there? So, let's just check into those things.
Okay, we'll check into those things.
And
yes.
I'll represent the board on this first meeting, but I'd like to
Okay.
look into all those things and then bring it back.
We'll bring you all that information, and we'll inform you on all the details.
Thank you, Alejandro.
Mr. Chairman, next item is the passenger activity report.
Okay.
This is for the whole year now, we have compiled up to December.
That's right.
As you can see on the all schedules airlines, we are -2 points, the employments is a -2.6, and empty planes is 1%.
You're looking at all scheduled
All scheduled
airlines, right?
airlines, yes, sir. We can look at American Airlines, -2 and 8.80. United, the percentage was a plus,
Mhm.
12%, and a plus 19. United is doing very good,
Better. Mhm.
better. Allegiant is probably, because Allegiant didn't have, I was told this year, the charter flight to Orlando, so probably. the-
Right.
Cut it down.
Yeah, probably the numbers are a little bit different from last year.
So it's really a Legionnaire that kind of, I guess,
Yeah.
brought the numbers down. If we were to exclude them, then we would have positive numbers.
That's correct, Mr.
Correct.
Chairman.
And this is the year, I guess for purposes of information for the new members as well.
Yes.
This is the year that they cut the seasonal flights to Florida, right?
Yes.
But the Vegas flights have been
No,
still
the Vegas flights
running.
continue, now every Thursday and Sunday, same time. The only thing they have done, is, change their schedule. I think now they're leaving, still leaving at 8 o'clock at night, they're leaving at noon.
Okay,
So but they still have the 2 flights.
gotcha.
Why did they cancel the Orlando flights?
That I don't know, I need to find out.
They just decided.
That decided to.
I think from what Elsie said last time
Mhm.
was that it's not that they canceled, they were opening up another market somewhere, and
Uh-huh.
so
They
they
moved.
rerouted, and then I guess once that's established, they'll consider
Again.
again.
There was a lack of
That
equipment,
was-
they
that
needed
was-
equipment to
they
take
That's
to the
right.
market, that's what it was, remember?
She did
Oh,
tell
yes.
us.
It was
Now
a
I
lack of
remember that.
equipment.
Yes, lack of equipment.
Yes.
So they have so many airplanes and that was it.
So hopefully it'll come back, 'cause I know it
Hopefully.
was a popular, it was a popular.
Yeah.
I had used it the summer before that, and I was gonna use it again. We had to take a different airline because they
Yeah, I
weren't
have
around
family
anymore.
members who
Is there any
use
talks
it.
of them to come back?
That would be, I don't know, maybe
I
just
don't know.
inquire?
We can
Just
inquire,
inquire?
we'll let you know if they,
Good idea.
you will be informed immediately if Legion would like to add another flight, we'll let you know.
Because I remember I asked to inquire about a Cancun one, because we did have one several
Right.
years ago and it was extremely successful.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that it would be, just as lucrative for them as Orlando, because
Right.
it's an international destination as well. I mean,
Yeah,
people
we'll
go
ask.
from all over the world to Cancun, and we're just
We'll ask,
fortunate
yeah,
enough
we'll
that
let you know.
we're very close to it.
Yes.
Make a note to us. but-
Why don't we bring it back at the next meeting under communications,
Some
just a little
communication,
update.
the communication from them, inquire with Legion about the Orlando flight and any other possible flights, from Laredo to any other destinations.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there any other questions from the committee regarding the employment report?
Even though we took a minimal loss, it's minimal because it offsets the other two, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, yes, sir. We move on over, let's go over to the cargo activity.
The cargo
report.
activity report, Mr. Chairman, also is being completed, and for this one, it's 14%. That's on the positive side, we have an increase of 14%.
Versus, 2017.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate a little bit, for the new members as far as, how this works and how we collect the fees and it's based on the maximum gross landed weight, et cetera?
What we do is, all the cargo airplanes, they're supposed to report and to do a flight plan. When they, file the flight plan, they provide all that information, they're coming from X, Y, to here to Laredo. That flight plan has all the flight and the cargo weight and everything, so when they landed, there's a landing fee associated
With the weight.
to weight, because of the weight. And that's what you're gonna see cargo gross landing weight report for the year 2018. So sometimes they bring, especially when you get a Federal Express and a UPS and DHL, but we have also another, those are the scheduled scheduled cargo airplane. We have a schedule that they come anytime they can go, and that's what we, get that information. And
What's the
for-
current fee right now? I forgot what it was.
I'm sorry?
What's the current, landing fee right now?
Do you know? I don't know that.
$2? $2? It's the weight divided by 1,000,
Mhm.
and then we multiply by $2.
At $2? Okay.
I apologize,
Per pound or per
I'm
kilo?
on the side of
It's,
operations.
that's for non-dependents, that's for
Per
regulars,
pound or
pero.
kilo?
It's,
Bill.
I'm sorry?
You say per pound, right?
It's, yeah, maximum gross landed weight, it's really the weight of the aircraft and not so much the weight of the cargo they're bringing in. If I remember
That's
correctly.
for everybody who
Yeah.
doesn't have an, like, contract with us, $2, but it does lower for like if they are signatory, they send.
Or
it.
non-signatory, it's
Yeah,
a higher rate.
non-signatory, I believe it's like 150, 190.
I think the big boys have signatory contracts, right?
Yeah, yes, mostly on them.
UPS and, yeah.
I apologize, I'm being here with the airport only 1 year, and I'm the assistant I'm on operations, basically I do the construction aspect and the maintenance.
Bills.
So Elsie is
She
she's
connects.
she's the one doing, I'm the one who spend the money, she's the one who gets the money.
Get the money.
Yeah, so Elsie is in charge of doing
And
all
I'm
this,
aware of that, that's why I'm asking you this question.
Yeah, he also was here.
Wow.
He knows that I'm the one spending the millions of dollars in construction and also doing all the operations and maintenance. And I told her, LT support, she knows all this and actually they know about that, but we'll let you know.
Okay.
But the fees have increased, I know back in our day.
It was not-
lower.
yeah, it was a lot lower
I
than
used
that.
to work here in Southern,
Yeah.
Joe, yeah, so they were a lot lower than the $2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good,
Okay, moving along,
Fuel flow.
the fuel.
that should be positive too, right? I mean,
The fuel we're doing okay, yes. We're minus, total year today, we're minus 16. Oh, 16,000 and a minus 6%. We're minus 6%.
It's a big hit for January.
Well, the January, yes, sometimes when also the Mexico government, when they change, you know that. Mr. Gonzalez knows that. I don't know you, Mr. Gutierrez. You're in the business of,
Yeah, I'm a customer.
you're a custom broker, so you know that. So when there's a change of the Mexican government, it always happens.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's why probably. that's
So,
what's
would you
happening.
call that the ripple effect?
Probably, it's kind of a ripple effect and for people sending the cargo to Mexico, you know what's gonna happen. And now that NAFTA is no longer in effect, that we have now the, what do they call it?
USMCA.
USMCA.
But it's still NAFTA until they approve it.
After they approve it, so that's probably a ripple effect, that's probably what it is. I'm assuming that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I was expecting, I guess, a positive outcome because of the results from the cargo, but yeah, I didn't think about that.
But we should see an increase this month.
This
Yeah.
month?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
In
But,
January.
this month is gonna.
They have to stabilize, just the initial transformation, I'm sure.
Yeah, right now,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, right now it's like starting.
Ah, okay. Okay, well,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
The next meeting will
Next
hopefully
meeting
will
will be-
be,
Will be back to
we'll go
normal.
back to normal.
I think we're gonna
Yes.
be, yeah,
Yeah, we'll see that.
we're gonna be that minuses,
Okay.
not positive.
Moving along, Mr. Chairman, delinquent rent report, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people for a total of $31,000, and we're working on that.
Air freight, oh, that's the FTC fees, foreign
Mhm.
trade zone?
Yes.
Litigation, pending court action.
And we have, some rent for Addis that still need to pay.
That was because of family, right, correct, because of
Yes,
death in the family?
That's the problem with it,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's less, right? I know it was more last time.
Yes, that's,
Avis?
Avis, yes.
They did.
Yes.
They changed family
Right,
members and.
right.
We'll get the money, you know, I mean, I'm
It's only
pretty
30
sure.
days.
I'm pretty
It's
sure, but
only
it's
a month.
gonna take a while.
Phenomenal.
Who's that one?
Avis,
Avis.
Avis Rent-A-Car,
Avis
the owner, for lack of a better word, the old man died.
Yeah.
And now the new one is,
Change the manager.
yeah.
Patriarch.
The patriarch died, yeah.
Are they, and maybe this is a question for Elsie, but are they paying also a percentage of, I guess the revenue, is there revenue sharing? I'm trying to remember, or it's just a fixed rent? I remember Liz, you
it's
remember
both.
that?
I think
It's
it's
just
both.
both
I
involved,
believe
right?
she did say that there's a percentage.
It's
There's
both.
a
It's a fixed rate.
There was commission.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
both.
Also.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Like, I just wondering, and we could do this for the next meeting, whether the commission is being collected as well, without any
This
issues.
is just plain
Okay.
rent.
Not
or-
just for
I
Avis,
think
but
it's
across the
both,
board
but
for all.
we'll
Yeah.
prepare that report for the next.
Cause I've seen that before
Yeah.
where they're behind in the rent, but I've always wondered about the commission,
Okay.
whether there's any issues or that's being collected timely. And I remember it being around 10%.
I got like this one Doug Taylor, look, so look at his invoice, it's a $900 fee, but is that past due or is it just?
So landing
Doug
fee.
Taylor, probably it's past due, no?
Yeah,
It's a past due invoice.
Delinquent report,
Like,
that's-
because, you know,
yeah.
you get past due after the first month or what, within 30 days?
This is after 30 days, no?
These are, this
Or
is a
90
couple
days.
months, but they give lower what they're supposed to be giving, they don't give the total amount.
I think in the past, what I've seen, and it might be good to revert back to that, is to have a column in there that shows this 30, 60, 90.
Oh, the age, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Aging, the
The
receivable.
aging,
yeah.
the 30, 60, and 90?
And that'll answer
Over
those
90.
questions.
Yeah,
Cause
the
912
30,
could be
60, and
one
over 90.
landing, it could be multiple
Yeah.
landings,
So
so.
we'll go back to
Could be
the
1
format,
month,
Mr.
3
Chairman.
months.
Yes. We'll
That'll
go
work.
back to the format, the
Okay.
30
That
days,
way-
60 days, and over 90 days.
And I noticed that, Mr. Hoffman's not on here, which is good.
It's been first time
Is there
in a long time.
pay, or did they
So is it
close out the
paid, or
legal
yeah,
issues?
They
Yeah,
paid
wow.
out.
Really?
Wow.
He was a regular on the list.
Okay, yeah, he invented this. I
Yeah, he
prepared
paid.
this report for this board as an employee because of Hoffman.
And still years later, he's still.
Yeah.
2 years later.
yeah.
No, we'll
Well,
move.
that's a good thing, that's a
Well,
good thing.
there was others,
Even
but
back
I
to
mean,
my
he was,
time.
joking, cause he's always been on there.
After you, right? That was for you
But
time.
still.
Yeah, still doing that?
If that, he was still at.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Moving on, this one's, I really know, you can ask any question. The reconstruction of the cargo apron, aviation apron phase 11. For the new, board members, let me show you on the map, what are we talking about? We got 2 grants from the Federal Aviation Administration, about $12.4 million. And then what we're doing is little by little, we're constructing and changing all the asphalt. We're changing all the asphalt into concrete. The whole airport has been replaced now with concrete. What we're doing right now, this is the west side, the airport, the ramp. We just finished phase 10, which is this black area you see. This used to be asphalt, now it's concrete. That was phase 10. And then we did on phase 10 the widening of this taxiway Echo. Now what we're doing is phase 11. Phase 11 is where we're reconstructing all this area from here to here, and we're going to replace all these, what we call 3 island. This all concrete is way back from when the airport was the Laredo Air Force Base. It's only 6 to 7 inches. So with the new cargo airplane, they crush all that concrete, so we're replacing it with 17 inches of concrete. And that's phase 11. Ring Construction is doing phase 11. We awarded a $9.7 million. We get, FAA give us additional funding, and now we awarded, that's what you're gonna see on the next item, we are going to award phase 12. That's about $2.2 million additional money to Ring Construction because we got the additional funding that we got from FAA. So we're going to replace this area, some area here, and we're going to replace this area for phase 11. The contract time is about 420, it's longer than a year, it's gonna be 420 days, I believe. And that's what we're working on it. We'll keep you posted with the progress of the construction on every month, but Green Construction is the one doing this area. And that's on phase 11.
Alejandro,
Yes, sir.
when was the last time that you recall that there's been an aerial photograph of the airport?
That's a 2016, we're gonna get a new one.
Okay, the
Yes.
16 was the last time we had one?
Yes, this one is 2016, and then we're working on the extension of taxiway Gulf. We have completed this area, so we now have two parallel, we have two runways and two parallel taxiways.
Right.
Completely, so on the new picture that we're gonna get, we're gonna show, actually, it's on Google right now. It shows the completion of this extension of taxiway Gulf.
When do you think we'll have that up here?
Yes,
Soon?
we're working on that, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Just to, so we
We
can
need to
visually
update that.
see the improvements that are completed already. Yeah.
We'll work on that. I don't know if any questions might have regarding phase 11?
So the increase is for 2 million?
That's phase 12, that's the next item.
That's the next, am I looking at the wrong one?
You jumped ahead.
Yeah, jump ahead, the next item is for change
Okay,
order
they're
number one.
just- they're
What was the
just,
completion date?
It's gonna be now at around March 20.
No, that's next.
2020.
March,
Yeah,
okay.
March 2020. Más o menos.
And what are gonna be the benefits, or? I mean-
The benefits of that, that's all concrete, is, like I said, the thickness of that concrete is only 6 to 7 inches.
So we don't land planes, so,
No, we do, and they're crushing the concrete.
okay, yeah.
And they're destroying all this is in bad shape.
Uh-huh.
I can give you a tour anytime you would like to go, and I can show you that we, hope with this is all concrete that is crushed, same thing on this area. This is the general aviation, ramp. Here is for the cargo airplanes, and the next phase is gonna be phase 13, and the next phase is gonna be phase 14. So little by little, we're removing all the 7 inches, 6 to 7 inches of all concrete. That concrete was placed 40, 50 years ago, so it's already beyond the lifespan. And we're replacing it with 17 inches of brand new concrete. That's what we have here. All the runways and the taxiways now are 17 inches. They're prepared for the cargo airplanes. The only runway that is not available for cargo, this is the runway 1432. This runway is only for general aviation apron. It's limited to 66,000 pounds, which is basically for small airplanes, not for cargo airplanes. They cannot use that runway 14. The majority of the airplanes, all the cargo airplanes, they land on 18 right and 36 right and left. So that's why we have those runway. And that's the cargo airplanes. About 6, 7 months ago, we got one of the biggest airplanes landed in Laredo. That was the Antonov 23. That's a Russian airplane. That's a huge airplane. And they came here to Laredo to pick up a box, 6 by 6 by 6.
Really?
That was it. 74,000 pounds, but it needed to be in Detroit, Michigan for one of the automakers.
Uh-huh.
And they sent the airplane. The airplane landed empty around 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. They waited, and the first thing in the morning, because of the weather condition, that's when the cold one of the day, they took off around 6 o'clock in the morning, direct flight from here to Detroit to deliver that box. It was an injection box for a plastic,
Machine.
for the truck, for the Peterbilt trucks, I think. But it was only a box, 6 by 6 by 6, 74,000 pounds. That airplane for that little. But
So we need a picture.
Somebody has my-
We have pictures and we have videos and,
Sounds like,
and,
get
all
that
that.
thing.
To show off.
That's the, Mr. Chairman, that concludes our reports
Okay.
on phase 11.
So, and it's always been done, but I guess for this one, there was like, just a title for action items left out there, so it doesn't look like it's a continuation of the staff
Right.
reports, right? So that
Um,
would have been item 6 to show, motion or action.
Well, it is the staff report. Yes.
Well, I'll get, maybe I'm mistaken, do you need action on the next bullet, or is that just a communication?
It's a committee.
Yes, it's just communication.
It's just
Okay,
a
my
communication.
mistake, I thought it was an action item.
Oh, let me continue then. The
Please.
next item, it's, we already went to city council on February the 4th.
Okay.
That was last week. Yes. This is, consideration for approval of change order number 1. This is what I was referring to, phase 12. That's 2.2 million. Now the construction contract to Ring Construction is gonna be $11.1 million. And we added, it's not 45 days, that's not right. We got the old one. We added 120 days, 120 calendar days.
120?
Yes, that's what actually the actual, council communication, this is a draft. So now it's gonna be like around March, 2020. This is because of the additional funding that we received from, FAA. We got $12.4 million from FAA.
Mhm.
And we continue to, for the next year. The next item is the chairman, you can see it's, consideration for approval. That's what I explained about the phase 10 and the taxiway widening. This one is for, approval and a final acceptance of the project. Everything was in order, and what we needed to release the retainage, and that was the final payment to Ring Construction. The final payment was $296,000, and the total contract was around $4.9 million for phase 10 and the widening of taxiway Echo.
That's the previous phase, right?
That's the previous phase 10 and the taxiway. Right now, we're on phase 11, and the change order was for phase 12. The next item, council communication, is to award a professional service contract to RSNH to design, and preparation of plan and specification for the next phase, which is gonna be phase 13. That phase 13 is the one that I, explained that is on the corner. As you can see, the black is the asphalt. Phase 13 is this area. This area, this is phase 13. That's RSNH, our consultant, our airport consultant, is going to, prepare plans and specifications for this area. The schedule calls to go out on bids, around mid-July, at the end of July of this year. Once we get the bid, we send it to FAA, for consideration and, for another grant for additional funding for that particular phase 13. And then next year in 2020, we'll do the design for phase 14 and hopefully finish with all the cargo run. One thing that we have, communicated to you is FAA, usually, all the funding, all the grant is for airfield, like taxiways or runways, not for apron. But we have been in contact with FAA and communicated to them the uniqueness of the Laredo International Airport is becoming a cargo hub. And they understand that need, so that's why we're getting funding on the cargo, because, the cargo, apron or ramp is way down on the priority list. Priority for FAA is always the airfield, the runways and taxiways and safety. Cargos and cargo aprons and ramp is not a priority.
But that's
because
really
it's a
your
non-moving
bread and
area.
butter here, I mean.
Yes, but, we're working with FAA on that, so phase 13 is going to be, it's $385,000 contract to, RSNH. This contract is for the design and preparation of plans and specs and go out on bids. Once we have the hard numbers, we go to FAA and present it to FAA for the future grant. Once we receive the grant, we do an amendment like all the time to the consultant for the construction administration
phase, yeah.
project.
Right.
That's for the construction administration. So you can see the breakdown there, and, FAA, RSNH, for information for the new member, has been selected for 3 years, and with an option for an extension of 2 more years. RSNH has been with us for 1 year, so this is the 2nd year. The City of Laredo International Airport, we went through all of our RFQs, and we make a selection, and because the nature of, the grants with FAA, we have to have a consultant on board and immediately start working on the plans and have the shovel-ready plans. That's what we're doing. Any questions?
I noticed on the first one, for phase 11, I did the math and I may be off, but it's right at 25%, right?
24.95, Mr. Chairman.
That's what I thought.
To be precise, 24.95.
I would imagine that'd be the last change, the only
Yes,
change order.
because of the local government code, we cannot exceed 25%.
So.
We are right there.
That's the-
Yeah, we gave a buffer point.
We're within the allowable by the local,
That's smart.
24.95, Mr. Chairman, to be precise. All right.
Question on
You
that.
had that number right.
Yes.
Planning on this, is, the 385,000 has already been budgeted for, because you're saying they're gonna be local funds on this.
Yes, the airport is being funded by the airport operations, but we'll get reimbursed by FAA.
But I mean, my question is, have you budgeted that amount already, or
Yes,
just?
yes, we have it, yes.
That was for what again?
For the 385,000.
The
For the
385,000?
contract, professional contract for our.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes,
Because they said they're gonna use their funds anyway, but you're gonna go back and then on top of that, you said
FAA will
that
reimburse us.
SFA
Yes, FAA.
might not reimburse you, right?
no, they
They
will, they will reimburse. Yeah, that's the good thing about this airport is we also proactive, and we always ahead, and that's why we have been very good at getting grant from FAA, because we're always proactive, and we sometimes the airport, the City of Laredo pays for that, we get reimbursed instead of waiting for FAA to pay for it. So that's, a lot of people look at us and say, how come Laredo is getting all those grants? Because we're being proactive, and we also take care of the plans, here to spec, and we're ready to
You're
go.
ready.
Moving on.
And we have hard numbers and say, this is much money we need to continue to the next phase.
Very good. Okay.
And
The
this
o-
is no action, right? 'Cause it's
No,
already
No,
on.
no action items, and the only thing I'll add is that, the staff prepared a draft letter, they do the biannual communication to council as far as the projects that have been completed, and then the upcoming projects that are scheduled. I'm gonna go ahead and sign that so the staff can submit it, I guess, to the mayor and the council members, but if we could send it to the whole board so they can have a copy of that letter as well.
Okay. Actually, we'll work on that, and we'll send it to you.
And if there's no more questions from any of the board members, I will call the question to adjourn.
Well, before we go, I know that George also mentioned as well, Ed was your coach or your vice chair, so I know that sitting here, I'm like, I'm kinda like, wow, but I'm thinking, shouldn't we?
Yes,
But
we,
we have to have a full quorum, don't we?
yeah, well, number one, we can't take action
We can't take
today,
action.
that's number
For the
one.
next
But number
one.
two, thank you for bringing it up.
Yes.
Let's put it on the next agenda.
Mhm.
To name the co-chair.
Yes.
Okay.
Toilet.
To elect the co-chairman.
Discussion, possible action to appoint a new
Wouldn't
vice chair.
Wouldn't you have to, recommend and then elect?
You nominate us.
Let's check with legal for the proper language.
Okay, we'll check into that.
Okay.
And that's what we did last time when we elected you, and
Yeah.
why don't we?
Yes, sir. By the way, I got reappointed, so you're stuck with me.
Hopefully you won't have railroad then. For lack of better word.
I was already packing, but, I got reappointed by Councilman Martinez, so.
Congratulations.
Be here.
Thank you. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And all of you guys.
Anything else?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Gonzalez, Villarreal, all those in favor, let's adjourn.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It is